Hello, students. Today we are going to learn a new chapter, The Portrait of a Lady, written by Kushwant Singh. So, let us see what the story is about. My grandmother, like everybody's grandmother, was an old woman. She had been old and wrinkled for the 20 years that I had known her. People said that she had once been young and pretty and even had a husband, but that was hard to believe. My grandfather's portrait hung above the mantelpiece in the drawing room. He wore a big turban and loose fitting clothes. His long white beard covered the best part of his chest, and he looked at least 100 years old. He did not look the sort of person who would have a wife or children. He looked as if he could only have lots and lots of grandchildren. As for my grandmother being young and pretty, the thought was almost revolting. She often told us of the games she used to play as a child. That seemed quite absurd and undignified on her part, and we treated it like the fables of the prophets she used to tell us. In the first paragraph, the writer Kushwant Singh describes his grandmother. So he says his grandmother was very old and she was wrinkled for the 20 years that he had known her. And people used to tell that she was very young and pretty and she even had a husband, but the writer would find it very difficult to believe it. The grandfather's portrait was hanging on the wall in a mantelpiece in the drawing room, and he had worn a big turban and a loose fitting clothes. So his long white beard had covered the entire chest, and he looked almost 100 years old. And he couldn't believe that this person might be having a wife or a child, but he definitely looks like he had lots of grandchildren. That is, he was very old. And comparing to his grandmother, she was young and pretty. The thought was almost revolting, that is, upsetting. Looking at the grandmother full of wrinkles, he cannot think of her being pretty. And when the grandmother used to tell stories of the games that she used to play as a child, it sounded absurd, that is, stupid, ridiculous. How can an old woman play all those games? So the writer felt it very amusing, and he took it as the fables of the prophets. He took it as a short stories of moral stories. She had always been short and fat and slightly bent. Her face was a crisscross of wrinkles running from everywhere to everywhere. No, we were certain she had always been as we had known her. Old, so terribly old, that she could not have grown older and had stayed at the same age for 20 years. She could never have been pretty, but she was always beautiful. She hobbled about the house in spotless white, with one hand resting on her waist to balance her stoop and the other telling the beads of a rosary. Her silver locks were scattered untidily over her pale, puckered face, and her lips constantly moved in inaudible prayer. Yes, she was beautiful. She was like the landscape in the mountains, an expanse of pure, white serenity, breathing peace and contentment. In the second paragraph, he tells about how she was and what she used to do. She was a little short and fat, and she was slightly bent. Obviously, she was old, so that's why she was a little bent. And she had wrinkles in her entire face. And she was very old, and he remembers that she had not changed at all. She was very old and she was still old. She could never have been pretty, but she was always beautiful. So he tells, my grandmother, I don't know whether she was pretty, but she is always beautiful. And she always used to wear a white color sari. She used to wear a white dress, and she used to roam about with one hand resting on her waist so that she balances her stoop. What is stoop? Hunch. And She hobbled about the house, that is, walk in an awkward manner. The old people, you have observed how they walk. So here she was holding one hand, resting her one hand on her waist, and the other telling the beads of a rosary. Rosary is nothing but a string of beads. And in the other hand, she used to have this rosary and she used to pray. And her silver locks, the silver locks is a grey hair. It used to be scattered untidily. It was not tied up properly. Over her pale, that is light colored, puckered face is wrinkled face. A light colored, wrinkled face, and her lips were constantly moving in her prayer. And she was very beautiful. Looking at her, people would feel very happy, and she was a person full of peace, calmness, and happiness. My grandmother and I were good friends. My parents left me with her when they went to live in the city, and we were constantly together. She used to wake me up in the morning and get me ready for school. She had her morning prayer in a monotonous sing song while she bathed and dressed me in the hope that I would listen and get to know it by heart. I listened because I loved her voice, but never bothered to learn it. Then she would fetch my wooden slate, which she had already washed and plastered with yellow chalk, a tiny earthen ink pot, and a red pen, tie them all in a bundle, and hand it to me. After a breakfast of thick, stale chapati with a little butter and sugar spread on it, we went to school. She carried several stale chapatis with her for the village dogs. Now he talks about his relationship with his grandmother. So he tells that he was a good friend of her, and his parents had left him to stay with his grandmother when they had moved towards the city. And she used to wake him up in the morning and get him ready to school. She used to say her morning prayers, thinking that this boy would learn those prayers, hearing every day. But the boy, Kushwant Singh, he loved her voice. He liked listening to her, but he never bothered to learn what she was telling. He did not give more importance to that. And she would tie all the things, that is the ink pot, red pen, the wooden slate with yellow chalk, all this she would bundle it up and she would give it to the boy so that he gets ready to the school. And after a breakfast of thick, hard chapati, that stale is hard and also not fresh, so with a little butter and sugar they would move towards the school. And whenever they used to move, the grandmother would carry few chapatis with her for the village dogs. My grandmother always went to school with me because the school was attached to the temple. The priest taught us the alphabet and the morning prayer, while the children sat in rows on either side of the veranda singing the alphabet or the prayer in a chorus. My grandmother sat inside reading the scriptures. When we had both finished, we would walk back together. This time, the village dogs would meet us at the temple door. They followed us to our home, growling and fighting with each other for the chapatis we threw to them. In the fourth paragraph, the writer Kushwant Singh tells that the grandmother and him, they both went to school together always, and it was because the school was attached to the temple. The priest would teach them the alphabets and the morning prayer, while the children, they used to sit in rows on either side of the veranda. They would learn the alphabets and the prayer, whereas the grandmother would sit inside reading the scriptures. And as soon as they both would finish, they would walk back together again, back to home. And this time the village dogs would meet us at the temple door. That is, when they are on their way back, the dogs would follow them till their home, growling and fighting for the chapatis that they used to throw at them. When my parents were comfortably settled in the city, they sent for us. That was a turning point in our friendship. Although we shared the same room, my grandmother no longer came to school with me. I used to go to an English school in a motor bus. There were no dogs in the streets, and she took to feeding sparrows in the courtyard of our city house. When his parents had comfortably settled in the city, they had gone to the city, as you know, they had gone to live in the city to get settled, and the writer was left with a grandmother. So now, when his parents had been settled there, they had called the son back towards them. Now, that was a turning point in their friendship, the friendship between the grandson and the grandmother. Now, although they shared the same room over there, the grandmother no longer came to school with me. They had stayed together in one room, but what happened? There was the trip going to school was missing, and I used to go to an English school in a motor bus. So he wouldn't walk there; he would just go through a school bus, and there were no dogs in the streets, so she could not feed them. So what did she take up? She took to feeding sparrows, which were coming in their courtyard. As the years rolled by, we saw less of each other. For some time, she continued to wake me up and get me ready for school. When I came back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught me. I would tell her English words and little things of Western science and learning, the law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, the world being round, etc. This made her unhappy. She could not help me with my lessons. She did not believe in the things they taught at the English school and was distressed that there was no teaching about God and the scriptures. She said nothing, but a silence meant disapproval. She rarely talked to me after that. Now, as years went by, what happened? They saw each other very less. For some time, she continued to wake me up and get me ready for school. So, in the beginning, she would do that. But later on, she had stopped that too. And when I came back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught me. So, the grandmother would ask the grandson what he learnt in a school. Since he was going to a English school, the teacher would teach him a lot of things. It was English words, little things of Western science and learning, the law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, all this. And when this grandson would tell all this to his grandmother, she wouldn't understand it. So she was unhappy about it. Why? Because she could not help him with his studies also. Plus, she did not believe in that things, what they thought, because she was sad that there was no teaching about God and the scriptures. So she did not say anything, but her silence showed that she was not happy, and she rarely talked to him after that.